All right, welcome back. We on part 2. Here comes Judge. So, as we spoke about at the end of the last one, the Lord showed me a video, fire, this is not a false alarm, you're getting married. In that video, Esther's Way talks about the fact that God is bringing these marriages together in the midst of judgment. The Lord brought me to this particular episode of my old TV show when I was a child last night. Made me rewatch it when I saw it on Monday. He made me rewatch it and listen to the episode. When I watched it, he gave me this entire word. We're on part 2. So I'm going to dig back in here because we still got a lot to go. So at the same time, they are preparing this particular character's enemies are preparing and assembling the judge. God is preparing judgment for your enemies, okay? And for some of them, he's actually allowing them to set up their own judgment. God just gave me that in that moment. So, and that's probably what they've been doing. He set them up to set you up, which Bold for Christ did a video recently about that. I never watched it. If you want to watch it, that's up to you. God is preparing judgment for your enemies at the same time. And because other things in your life, God is doing something that other things in your life may look like they're under attack while you're in labor. Okay? You are in labor. All the words I'm seeing recently are push through, keep going, move forward, keep going. This is a very push sensitive season. And you're in labor. So it makes no sense. Kingdom Obedience Ministries recently did a video, and even Megan Michelle mentioned this video in her video, talking about even though it looks like it makes no sense, God's making it make sense, something like that. God had to do it like this in order to confuse your enemies. There are things that are going to happen. Some is about to happen. Some of it has been happening because it's got to look confusing and look like things are being taken out from under you as God prepares to put you in the position of your blessings. Okay? And he's doing that in order to confuse your enemies. And God had me write this specific sentence. And I think it was because he wanted me to reference this. And just like that. Okay? And just like that, as we know, this is the new TV show for Sex and the City, and just like that. But God showed me the title of that show months ago in a dream after I'd been watching this TV show called The Big Leap. He's bringing this to my attention right here, right now, that I was watching The Big Leap and the two characters were in the grocery store and the guy said, let's get married. Within 2 days, they got married. Okay? You're getting married in the middle of all of the chaos. Okay? In this moment, in the episode, they end up exchanging rings. Okay? You and your husband may end up exchanging rings, meaning God ain't gonna make this a big deal. In that moment, there was no ceremony. There was no nothing. He gave her a ring. He showed her he had on a ring. That was their moment. God ain't gonna make this a big deal. This first thing that's going to happen is not going to be a big deal. Okay? Do you want me to say that, Lord? Because I done said it about 15 times. Some of y'all going to the courthouse. Some are you going to get married in absolutely no time. I saw 3 videos back to back yesterday that popped up in my feed talking about there is going to be no time for courtship. Y'all just going to meet and get married. Your courtship is going to be like no time. God ain't about, y'all gonna get to know each other when you get married. Ain't nothing. Get ready for elopements and quick weddings. Absolutely quick. Y'all ain't even gonna have time. It's just, and some of y'all know the place that you go when you want to have a quick wedding. Think about it. When you and your spouse show back up, it will be done. Okay? Once it is done, God's judgment will follow. They explained what this, in the episode, they explained what this judge did. He brought about Armageddon. Psalms 18 and Revelations 2 and 8. I did a whole review on Revelations 2 and 8 about the judgment in, it's called Generational Curses. It's only about 5 videos in Generational Curses, okay? Go into the Generational Curses playlist. And, is it Generational Curses? I think it is. But it's an actual playlist that I put these Generational Curses in. And the last video I talk about Revelations 2 and 8, where the Lord talks about the destruction of Babylon. Read the entire chapter. If I sit here and read the entire chapter, I already did that. Go to that video number 5 for the Generational Curses. Look it up. Psalms 18. The video I did the other day. I can't think of it. I Saw Judgment. Go watch that. I talk about Psalms 18 and do a full breakdown. I ain't reading that again. Do the research. Your marriage will meet judgment. There is a scene in the moment of the episode where she and her goddamn spouse are standing face to face with the judge. Okay? The Lord showed me this, that your marriage is the birthing, okay, of the judgment coming in. So when you get married, you're going to be birthing your promises, but that's also going to be the birthing of the judgment. So what he showed me is Revelations 12 and 13. The chapter in Revelations 12 and 13. You're going to read that on your own. I'm going to go through a little bit of it right here, where it says, a great wonder appeared in heaven, and there was a woman who was clothed in the sun, and the moon was under her feet. She had a crown of 12 stars on her head. She was pregnant, referencing the pregnancy. And she had she cried out in pain because she was about to give birth. Then another wonder appeared in heaven, and there was a giant red dragon there. The dragon had 7 heads with a crown on each head. It also had 10 horns. This is scripture number 4. Its tails swept a third of the stars out of the sky and threw them down to earth. It stood in front of the woman who was ready to give birth to the baby. When I saw the dragon sweep the stars out of the sky, get ready, that your idol's about to be pulled down. Anybody that believes in a bunch of these celebrities, some of them they about to get swept right out of there. Right out of there. God's about to pull all of them down. There's a whole bunch of them gonna come right out. Because God pulls down one and raises up another. You're gonna see, you might see a third of them celebrities come out of the industry because God's judgment is about to come down on them. God gave me that in that moment right there. The woman gave birth to a son who would rule the nation with an iron rod, and her child was taken up to God and the throne. The woman ran into the desert, the place that God had prepared for her, and there she would be taken care of 160 days. Now, not 100, 1,260 days. Sorry, I keep saying that wrong. In the Strong's Concordance, 1260 is dialogue Igazami. To consider, reason, debate. This is the point in time that the judgment is happening. I could make this up. God lined this up perfectly when I tell you, which intensifies the reckoning. Properly go back and forth when evaluating in a way of typical leads to confusion, to confused conclusions. The term implies one confused mind interacting with other confused mind, each further reinforcing the original confusion. This is what's about to happen to your enemies. If you recall, in 2 Chronicles 20 and 20, it speaks about Jehoshaphat going into prayer and putting God into remembrance. When the worshipers went in, what happened? All your enemies went into what? Confusion. Let's see. You and your husband are about to get married, and the judgment of the confusion is about to come to everybody else. You and your spouse are protected in the space for the season of judgment that is about to come to these people. All right? To come for these people. I'm not saying it will be 1,260 days you and your husband will be in covering, meaning you and your husband will be covered from the judgment. I do not know what the period is that you will be covered, but God gave me an interesting interpretation for this right here. There is a thumbnail that I'm going to be using for these videos. It is from a dream that took place in the prom episode of this show. I went back and God gave me the intuition to look up the day that this episode originally aired, that I'm talking about the judgment, which was January 19th, 1998. Then he had me look up the date, the prom episode that they dreamt of their wedding in. He had me look that up. It was May 11th. That was exactly 1 year and 4 months later. Okay? So, he had me look those things up. Now, in that dream that was had, they got married. Keys to the Kingdom talked about you dreaming of marrying your spouse, which means you have come into spiritual union with your spouse. In the video, it's called I Do. I have the link here in these notes, so I may link it in the bottom of this video. So I just explained the dates. So the amount of days, I was going to do specific research. I tried to find a calculator to calculate the amount of days between January 19th, 1998 and May 11th, 1999. Could not find it. What the Lord told me to do, or had me do, is that He had me take the 365 and add the equivalent of the assumption of 4 months, which is 120 days. I added those together and the estimation came out to 476. Now, catch this. This is what 476 means in the Strong's Concordance. 476 means antidikos, an opponent or adversary. Antidikos is the way that they phonetically spell it. An opponent, at law, or adversary. Against, justice, and judge. Property, a persecuting attorney arguing case at law, and opponent at law. TDNT. Bringing formal charge as they are binding to exact penalty. Satan acts as such an adversary, bringing a lawsuit of darkness against believers and their eternal damnation. Offsetting this is the perfect sacrifice of Jesus Christ. The antidoxis, I cannot pronounce it, is an adversary in a lawsuit. For against, and deixis, a lawsuit, is technical legal term using an antiquated and adversary in a courtroom. Someone seeking official and formal binding. God's binding these demons up. And damages. Okay? The papyri 237 use 476, that word, you're not going to say it again, of the opponent in the lawsuit. So that is what 476, God did that. That was, I'm telling you, God gave me this whole word. I hope this blessed you, because when God gave me this revelation, I just about hollered. I was like, what? The judge is coming. Okay? I'm also going to give you, you can go back and look at the Love is a Battlefield, part 1 and 2. I got the 2 links here. I'm going to link them in the bottom of this video. I done gave y'all so many videos. I hope you wrote them down and you decided to watch them yourself, because I done gave you about 15 videos you can go and look at. She kicks the judge. Some of y'all, the reason why the Lord has not allowed for you to interfere with your God-ordained spouse's processing is because you were not allowed to interfere. So when you get your spouse will be processed. There's going to be residue. Y'all going to have to deal with some things. Y'all going to heal together. It's okay. But the next phase is the people that hurt you, they going to go through their processing. Okay? And you can't touch their judgment. She kicked the judge. And when her foot touched the judge, it hurt her. You cannot interfere with this judgment at all. Okay? Bold for Christ did 2 videos where she spoke about God is going to move you. And in your moving, he's going to cover your exit. God showed me in a dream me being moved, but I didn't see how it was going to happen. He never shows me. He don't even show me how my wedding going to happen. I don't know. Probably because I'm talking to y'all all the time, and if I knew, I'd probably tell you. So, because of that, she said that she had to play dead in her dream. I cannot think of the name of that video. I'll look it up in a second. I'll tell it at the end. So she talked about how she had to play dead, and during that period of time, she had to be covered. Joseph, remember, nobody knew that he was still alive during the time frame he was gone, right? He was gone long enough that even when he came out of prison, he was in prison for just about 3 years. So when he came out, he didn't immediately say, oh, let me go and get my family. No, he was made emperor. Right, I think it was emperor. And he stayed there and he enjoyed his family. He got married to his wife. They had a child. Now, this is where I'm going to say that 1,260 days may be the case that you may have to stay away from your family. Because he had a toddler by the time that his family, at least in the version that Disney did, he had a toddler by the time his family showed up. I think it was only 1 child. It may have been 2. So you may have to be in this hidden place for some time before the public sees you, but you will be with your spouse. Next, you will be in a secure place. You and your husband will be your distraction, because when she kicked the judge, he had to distract and break an exit point. He's going to make the way of escape. And God's giving me this right now. He's going to make the way of escape for you. In order for you guys to get away. And your enemies, you will literally slip past them when your God ordained spouse does what he's going to do in order to bring the culmination of these events to happening. You and Bae gonna go on vacation. You are going to vacate this situation. Megan Michelle did a video about 8 months ago where she said Bae's Great Adventure was the name of the video. If you look that up, you'll be able to find it. And she spoke, and I'm bringing this up because at the end of the episode, they came up from the sewer and it was raining. In this Bae's Great Adventure, she talks about Candy Rain, the song Candy Rain. And, candy coated raindrops, so on and so forth. So you and your spouse are going to run off into this candy rain of blessings. Blessings are going to come around you. And let's talk about that Amos 9:13. Blessings. Everywhere you look, there are going to be blessings, 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 blessings. You're going to be accelerated into a level of blessings when you and your spouse run off. You and babe about to go on vacation. But upon y'all leaving, your enemies are going to get caught in the rain of judgment. So sad to make you feel bad about that, but yeah, that's what is about to happen. And there is about to be a consummation of your marriage. Now, hold on, there's a word. Let me see if I can find it. I was given a couple of words. Fulfillment, culmination, and a closing of something. Realization. So that wasn't the word I was looking for, because Tiffany Montgomery talked about this a couple of broadcasts back when she was doing one of her videos, and it's a word I was looking for. It wasn't I can't think of it off the top of my head. I ain't even gonna try. But yeah, the culmination of the actual consummation of your marriage will be the culmination of all this stuff all at once coming together. And the closing, it will mean the closing of your season. This is your crossing over. If you didn't get it through all that I've talked about, this is your crossing over moment. Congratulations, you about to cross over into the blessing. All right. I am so shocked that I was able to do that in 2 parts. But yeah, that was everything that I wanted to say. And okay, the Bold for Christ videos I was talking about, pay attention. They tried to kill you, and now they are coming face to face with God. Many are in labor and getting ready to push. God will confuse you, but he's not a God of confusion. And she also has a video called Justice is About to Kiss You All Over. I think that's everything. I think we pretty much covered it. So yeah, you're about to see the justice occur. I'm shocked how God gave that to me. I don't know why, but yeah, I'm glad I listened and paid attention, because he gave me a thorough word for you guys. So I hope that you made it this far and listened throughout this, because yeah, it's deep. It's really deep. And I pray that you were able to process it. And the religious spirits, they left early, but if you sat through this, you're going to get it. And you're going to get the blessing of the word. So until next time, this is Taj McCameron. Bye-bye.